What is up, disc golf fans, and welcome to the 2023 Disc Golf Pro Tour Championships, the semifinals, presented by Barbasol. This is a two-round semifinal event, which will then lead us to the finals, which will have the final 12 players from all this hard work from this season. Filling in for Nathan Queen and Andrew Fish, my name is Chris German, and along beside me we have Nick Hanson. How you doing?
Oh, I'm doing pretty good. Happy to be here to be in the booth on these rounds with you.
Yeah, these first two rounds, so everything that the players played for seeding then gave them a stroke advantage going into this first round, these first two rounds. Calvin Heimberg, who was first, had a 6-stroke under par advantage starting this round here. So every stroke matters as the top 12 are what's going to bring us to the finals.
As we jump into hole 10 here, 333 feet, uphill the entire way. OB right behind. Just a nice straight mid-ranger putter shot for these guys.
You go a little off there and then kicks pretty far right. That might be a tricky up and down.
And that a little off as well there.
Yeah, a little short left. Probably on the edge of circle 2. And Kyle did not like that. Looked like he slipped maybe.
Yeah, card seems to be struggling here. This is one that I would say is probably a must get for these guys. Unfortunately, no one in circle 1 yet.
This is looking good from Simon. Still, though, about 25 feet.
Yeah, also trailed off on him. Eagle having to play through the woods. Tough to say where that one landed.
Yeah, I don't think he's inside the circle, so he'll be looking at a circle 2 bid for par. Kyle will nestle on up there, as this was actually the easiest hole on the course. So tough to see our card. Matteo finding chains.
Simon actually landing much closer than I thought he was.
Yeah, good to see him get the green. So someone on the scorecard or on this card does get some green. Kyle in for another par. And the theme of Nevin here is you just got to roll with the punches. You're going to take bogeys. You're going to take double bogeys. And you're also going to get birdies. So you just really got to keep playing your game and keep fighting through these tight woods.
And here we are at hole 11. 375 feet downhill with a raised basket there. We do have a Mando on the left side of the fairway as soon as you enter that mouth there to start the tunnel.
Yeah, this is always a fun hole. You have to hit a gap a little bit farther down the fairway. It's downhill. You have the raised basket. You have the sloping green behind it. Feels really good when you get this one. That just needed a little bit more turn on it for Matteo.
I feel like, just like you said in the front nine, Nevin really is, a mental battle of a round as well as a physical battle. And I feel like this is one of those holes where, you want to turn the disc over, but if you turn it over too much, you're getting into those woods, and it's got to be just that right touch to get it down there.
As Kyle ends up in those woods you were just talking about over to the right. as Eagle throws a...
Oh my goodness. I think that was a mid-range too.
I mean, Kyle was barely off the box, and he ran right up and threw that. I forget what that's called. You taught me that. What is it when you're playing with your partner and you both have to throw?
Tailgate.
Yeah. Before your partner's disc lands, you have to also throw your disc off the tee.
Oh yeah, it's got to release your hand before your partner's disc hits the ground. That might have been in play there. That might have been a legal throw by Eagle.
Oh, man. Really far past the basket, as he's going to have to settle for the par. This hole also sets up for a lot of layups if you're just not in a good spot.
Because of runs like this that roll away. Oh my goodness, that's so gross. I think he might have a longer putt than he just had.
Oh, yeah. I think he was just inside the circle on the other one, or just outside.
Unfortunate. Gonna be getting bogey after that birdie bit.
Simon saving his par. Man, if this is what this tournament's going to be, I'm excited to see the rest. We've had throw-ins in the beginning. We've seen crazy par saves.
Nothing is safe here. All right, hole 12. 622 feet, par 4. With a slight right move off the box, it's then going to continue pretty straight here for the majority of the hole. About even, not really up or down from the tee box. Once again, just throwing a controlled shot and getting it in the fairway is very important off this tee box.
Yeah, this screams Carolina golf to me. I mean, this fairway is so tight. Simon finds first available.
Maybe trying to get a look for Eagle, potentially, with that drive. As I think the sidearm is more of a get you in position shot.
Yeah. This is definitely the placement shot. Eagle doing good there. Matteo looked like he pulled that a little.
Getting the green flag, though. There is OB if you get all the way to the road. Shouldn't come into play, but potentially.
This actually kind of helps Simon out in terms of angles.
Oh my goodness, you were right. Look at that.
Whoa.
Just sent one over catch cam Dave.
Wow. Yeah, he only progressed maybe 50 feet down the fairway, but those 50 feet just lined up this perfectly straight shot that everyone else is throwing as well. Wow. Matteo making sure everything is kosher. He was basically turned, not even at the basket. Just want to make sure you're properly behind your lie.
Not that it matters a ton, but it's good sportsmanship there to make sure you're doing it correctly. And what an upshot. Oh my goodness, Matteo.
And that's one way to save your par.
Golly, you are wrecked on that.
Eagle, unfortunately, going to catch a tree. I mean, that's got to be one of the better feelings in golf is when you pitch out and then know you have to execute the shot to get up and down, and you do it in fashion that puts you inside the bullseye.
Gives you a stress-free par putt. Couldn't agree with you more. Eagle sliding just a little bit past.
Oh, Simon.
So Simon hits first
epic
available
birdie.
and has a birdie look.
Eagle with another par.
Hey, like you said earlier, though, pars out here are good. If you can sprinkle in a few birdies and just minimize your bogeys, anywhere from 2 to 500 par for your round, not counting like the strokes you came in with, it's going to be a good round and putting you up on that leaderboard.
Friendship isn't defined by time spent together,
but rather by moments shared.
Moments that are warm,
Exciting.
and new. When you're outfitted for all that's out there.
Even the ordinary becomes extraordinary.
So here's to taking a moment to appreciate every moment, made outside together.
All right, moving into hole 13, here's a good one. 630 feet, par 4, slightly uphill to start, and then it's going to be downhill at the very end. It's just a slow moving left to right shot. It's a pretty tight fairway the entire way.
Yeah, this hole is so fun to play and so fun to throw. Simon catching another early tree. I don't know if he'll have the same type of angle he had on the last one, but
Kyle looks like to be putting... Oh, but he gets a kick there.
man, that was worst case scenario, putting them all behind those little trees. Let's see if he has a line.
Eagle getting a kick as well. Really putting almost full power into these shots, not necessarily throwing a controlled, mid-range or anything, putting full effort into these tee shots.
This looks good for Matty O if it just misses that last tree, and it doesn't. So everyone's struggling off the tee here.
Yeah. I think it's more of a straighter shot off the tee if you can, instead of trying to turn it as much to get around this corner. Let me see Simon trying to get around now. This unfortunately hitting and falling back quite a ways. It's only going to progress about 75 feet.
Yes, this was kind of sliding back down the hill. It's kind of like when you play mini golf and you watch your ball kind of slide down. It's not a good feeling.
Oh, it's one of the worst feelings.
Luckily, he's right in the middle of the fairway, so I would say that's pretty good. I would say bogey at best at this point, but
Kyle throwing a jump putt pitch out, it looked like there, to get back to the fairway.
yeah, that was really unlucky because I thought his shot was pretty decent. Just hit that left side of the tree and just kicked him. Matty O not getting too far down the fairway either. Great shot from Eagle.
There's a good shot. As we see our card kind of struggling down this hole a little bit, no surprise here with it coming in as the 4th most difficult hole today.
Oh, Matty, oh.
Nice little low glider all the way down inside the circle.
Simon trying to save his par will come up unsuccessful.
Eagle's going to grab his par as well there.
Man, we
look to do the same.
We look down at these scorecards right now, and there is only one green box.
Yeah, it's pretty wild to see. It's not something that's really common with the types of courses that Pro Tour is normally playing. Granted, the courses are very difficult. The Pro Tour has just become such a competitive field that there's always these double digits and multiple double-digit rounds out there, it seems like nowadays. But hole 14, 406, dead straight par 3.
Yeah, it's basically like a gauntlet here. Just throw it straight.
There is OB behind the basket, just to mention. Oh, and that looks filleted. Kyle Klein, folks.
Beautiful shot. A little low, but sneaks around that tree there, and he'll be on the dance floor.
Yeah, it looked like he was almost riding Kyle's line exactly, but just kept drifting right. See if Matty O can also match. Down there quite a ways. Not as close as the other guys, but should have a look from circle 2.
A little high from Simon. Did not flip up as much as he probably would have liked. Luckily, it does get knocked down before it gets too deep into the woods.
Matty O and Simon both giving decent runs from deep. They should be able to drop it in for par.
Yes, eagle. Getting some green on the scorecard.
What a great putt there. And that was one where, about halfway through the flight, you could tell he knew it was in.
Yeah, he was running that one down. It was got a little bit of excitement going here. Hopefully the rest of the card can piggyback off of that. Kyle looking to get his birdie, and he does.
On to hole 15, 346 feet, par 3. There's 2 gaps that you could throw right or left. We have the drone find the left gap, which I think will be the more dominant gap that you'll see over the week.
Yeah, you have these trees right in front of you. Plenty of first availables to find And at this point, I think we have seen just about almost everyone on the card find first available. And that just goes to show with this type of talent how tight and technical this course really is.
Yeah, well, probably one of the only courses on tour that's going to give Northwood Black a run for its money in terms of difficulty.
Matteo with some body English and the much needed puts him inside the circle.
Simon once again hitting early on the tree. Can I get a ways down the fairway? Should be able to get up and down for par.
Yeah, and this is not the course you want to be playing when you just feel a little bit off on your throw. It's one thing when you're off by a foot at somewhere like Winthrop or LVC, but I mean, just being off by even just an inch out here and just feeling a little off, great shot from Eagle, can really make this a tough day at the office.
Oh, I knew that was going to happen.
And we hear him, just kind of giving some self-talk on what he thought was going to happen if he did what he did. And once again, long par putt.
Oh, yeah, hit in. Oh, so close.
A little bit of frustration coming down to the end of this first round. What?
Kyle Klein put one in the back corner of the pin.
No chains really needed there.
He's like, I'll take it.
Hey, sometimes those little Hail Mary par saves.
And get you going. So we have Matteo here grabbing a birdie on the hole.
Man, he's been fighting so hard this entire round and gets under par at 1 under.
Yeah, I feel like anything under par here at this course is a very respectable round.
Yeah.
There's plenty of birdies out here, but there's way more chances to find bogey or worse.
My favorite flavor of Double G Craft Jerky, easy choice, the teriyaki. I love my sweet and I love my salty food. It's a great combination of both.
Got to go for the hot boom sauce to give you that extra kick.
Probably going to surprise a lot of you guys. My favorite flavor is actually the Texas sweet and spicy. I find it to be one of the best jerkies I've ever had.
All right, hole 16, 410 feet. Playing slightly uphill here as we see it flatten out once we get to the green. Par 3, just slightly right to left moving.
Yeah, and with the little uphill and then going downhill, it creates like this little hump in the middle of the fairway. Makes your angle choice and disc selection very crucial.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of these players prefer throwing that stand-up shot, and you need it to stand up with the hill, and once it gets to the flat part, you need it to be flat at that point. If it's still running hyzer, it's going to just fade away from that basket towards that LB.
Kyle getting through the line successfully and flying right past the green. Is going to be about right outside circle, pin high.
Eagle looks to be following that line.
Yeah.
Wow.
Had that up chain high. I mean, that was basically like ace run bid almost.
Scaring the basket.
I need a counter of how many times Eagle's gone. Oh no, Simon. How many times Eagle's gone past the basket today? Oh no.
Simon, unfortunately, here. Struggling. Looking at bogey at best.
And even there, it's going to be a circle 2 look for bogey on a raised basket as well.
Here's our first birdie look. Oh, and just a little low for McMahon.
See if Kyle can take a stroke from the card. Big putt for Simon. This is to keep him really alive. He still has a whole nother round tomorrow, so he's not out of it.
Hole 16 actually coming in as the third most difficult hole, playing at 0.25 over par.
Yeah, I think it's just very easy to find yourself off the fairway on this one.
Yeah, as we saw a couple good shots from our players just kind of leak deep, and then, you know, those ones that hit early. And as a card, we're going to play it 1 over. All right, on to hole 17. 850-foot par 4. Players are going to throw onto this opening here and then have to cross OB to get to the safe landing zone that we see in this back corner. OB surrounding the green.
Yeah, these two last holes here, 17 and 18, are new additions for this Tour Championship. And then after all this woods golf, you have a couple more open shots to finish out your round. Still have to hit a gap. But it's just, what a great way to test you. I mean, whole round, you're just struggling and fighting through the woods, and then all of a sudden they just throw you out in the open.
Yeah, and they give you this 20-foot gap, 20-foot wide gap that just looks huge probably by this point.
As Kyle rips that thing.
Oh, and he's going to find himself in a great position there.
Eagle so far putting together a respectable round. Let's see if he can finish strong. I would say this is leaking a little left.
Ooh, I was gonna say
Wow.
close to that LB, but getting that green flag.
And that looks pretty textbook from Simon. Still a lot of work for Matty O here.
Yeah, he's looking at par at best if he can get out there and then execute the shot to the green.
Well, he does part 1, but I think he'll be the next one up to throw with a lot of work still. But the shot sets up good for him.
Oh, and unfortunately, that one's going to go out of bounds on that right side.
I love the commitment. Just turns it over a little bit too much, and that tight OB near the green.
Simon also choosing to go with the backhand approach into the green.
This one leveling out great and drops that right there, about 45 from the basket. Kyle's going to take, looks like, a bigger Spike Heiser approach.
Lovely there, putting it inside the circle. See if Eagle can match that shot as well.
Yeah, I like the forehand here. I like just the one angle on such a tight and tough and OB covered green.
This one's looking good. Oh boy, and inside the bullseye it looks like for Eagle McMahon here on the 17th.
Matteo can give this a run, but there is OB behind. Doesn't matter.
No fear for Matteo. Sticking that bogey putt.
Yeah, you take the OB stroke away. You got down there in 4, so very impressive.
Simon Lizotte with another putt from outside the circle this round. Kyle will grab his birdie.
Yeah, overall, the card's been putting really well today. A lot of circle 2 makes. I mean, just about everything inside circle 1's automatic at this point.
All right, here we are to our last hole of round 1. Hole 18, 830-foot par 4. OB all the way around this one. A very tight finishing hole here for these guys.
Yeah, a lot of OB to contend with. Basically a 90-degree turn up there at the end of this first shot. And again, a gap that you have to deal with off the tee. So even while these are open holes, you got to hit a gap on the first tee shot. Kyle puts that in, I would say, the perfect position. This looks a little turnt, but it will fade back.
Eagle also putting himself in a good position there. Do you think it's better to be right or left once you get up this fairway?
I don't really know, if I'm being completely honest. I would say probably right.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking as well.
I think it cuts a little bit more of the distance. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, it's not really, all the spots are open. It's just how you would prefer to attack this green, I think, is what it's going to come down to, as we see Matteo putting one right in the middle of the fairway there.
And Simon going over some OB carry, but keeps it in bounds. Matteo
going with the flex shot there.
Going all the way to the scoring tent.
Wow.
Yeah, these guys ate their Wheaties today. They are launching past the basket. Kyle going with the forehand.
A little short, but inbounds and safe. Gonna give himself a birdie look here on 18.
This looks turned over from Eagle, and that is gonna go out of bounds.
Yeah, also to mention that pole you see on the very right side there is a Mando left for these players. If you were curious why they maybe weren't throwing big hyzers. And Simon puts one inside the circle there for a look at par.
So Eagle did throw a provisional shot here. We unfortunately do not have it. And this is him actually playing out that provisional.
Look at that. Not the, putt he was hoping for bogey, but, making it a save and a stroke either way.
Yeah, I think the provisional came down to like where his lie was exactly. Nonetheless, it's taking a bogey.
Yeah, and probably whether or not he ever actually crossed in bounds up by the green.
Yeah. Matty O's gonna miss his circle 2 putt. Simon, what a roller coaster. Sitting in 19th place, though, with the bubble at 12 in another round. He's only a couple strokes out of that bubble.
Yeah, plenty of time tomorrow. Anything can happen at this course.
Kyle Klein, after the bogey on hole 1, shoots a 5 under, 8 under total, and sitting in second place. He's going to find himself on lead card for the second round, semifinals. So we take a look. Again, Kyle with the 8 down, eagle. Matty O and Simon right at that bubble, and that's really the storyline. Got to get into that top 12.
Yeah, and Kyle with that clean back nine is really showing you that just, pars and a couple birdies here and there are going to do well for you over the weekend.
So we take a look at the scoreboard there. Gannon Burr right on the bubble. A lot of golf to play. Another very tough and challenging round here at Nevin for the semifinals. And we will see you there. We hope to catch you for round 2 of the 2023 Disc Golf Pro Tour Championships. Once again, my name is Chris German. Alongside me, we have Nick Hanson. We'll see you out there.